One of the things I do as a crypto trader or an investment trader is to analyze previous trends from previous week and use them to set the tone or set my expectation for every week I'm moving into. And in this video, that is what we are going to be doing exactly, to see or to know what to expect for the week that is coming in. Over the few period of time, or let's say some past few weeks or recent days, there's been a lot of speculation going on in the crypto market. People considering or even wondering whether we are still having a bull run to expect or the bull run is completely over. I should have released this video since the beginning of this week, but I had to take my time to wait to this period because there haven't been any standard or substantial information to glide on to know what to project and expect for this week in the crypto market. Well, until today, or let's say yesterday, where the unexpected, or let me say the much expected actually happened, and that is Bitcoin breaking the 88,000 resistance zone. That's crazy. That's massive. That is so much of a move that I've been, laying my hands on expecting for a few period of time. And it happened yesterday. And that's when I said, okay, it is time. I'm going to talk about something to expect for the week in the crypto space. And if you're a fan of that, I will say you stay close to your screen, come closer, and let's get right into that. And speaking of weekly analysis, there has been a lot of speculations going on in the crypto market so far this week, and I can't really say these are far-fetched. These are mostly based on the sentiment that has been going on in the market, with people contemplating whether we are still having a bull run to expect in this cycle, or we are actually done with a bull run. Well, I could have recorded this video very long time ago, but I had to wait for a particular confirmation, and that is me talking about the Bitcoin breakout from the $88,000 zone. I really had to wait for that to happen before I recorded this video, not because I was expecting it, but because I was waiting to see where the market was actually heading to, because if that hadn't happened, we won't be discussing what we are going to discuss right now. Regardless, there are still been some questions, people asking if we're actually in the bull run or we are just experiencing the tip of the iceberg, and that is a question I'll leave you to answer for yourself. Before we continue further in this video, there's something important I want to say, and that is the fact that if you are just the first timer on this channel, please, I want you to subscribe, because you'll be getting lot of more insight from this channel and you don't want to miss out on this. So take the time to hit the subscribe button, and also like this video. You're finding it very helpful, because which I believe you're going to by the end of the day. So for YouTube to recommend this video for other people who are interested in topics like this, you can't be selfish. There are two major fuel that is always propelling the crypto space, and that is the fundamentals and as well the technicals. Now we are going to be taking these two very serious, because this week analysis, we are not just talking about what we expect this week. We are talking about a proper change that might bring a new dimension to the crypto space. And when talking about a major change, we are talking about either we are launching into another level of the bull run, or we are just staying where we are. So this is something that must be founded on proper research and backed by real evidences. So we're going to be talking lots about fundamentals, things that actually determine the cycle. And for some reasons, I just believe this particular bull run is very much likable to the 2021 cycle. Before you begin to rejoice about the breakout of Bitcoin from the 88,000 zone, there are some things you actually need to understand and you need to take note of. These are the real fundamentals, because it is not just about breaking out, it is you understanding the real move behind these things. Now, for an example, in the year 2021, there were a lot of dynamics to the bull cycle, and just like we are having this right now, there were a lot of doubts, there were a lot of let's say uncertainty surrounding the market, and we are having that same thing now. Regardless, there are some moves that are coming in from the 2020 that came in the 2021 cycle, and I'm also seeing in this cycle, especially with what happened just over the weekend. For an example, we're talking about the Fed, influx of funds into the market, talking about investment capitalists, talking about hedge funds and the like. So I'm going to be taking all of these things one by one. When talking about fundamentals, there are some things I actually want to pinpoint for you. And for an example, that is some basic rule that are much of cliche but are not very explained. For an example, I have to tell you this. At every instance, wherever the central bank is moving, I advise you move there, because these are the guys controlling the large funds. And why am I saying this? Let's take for an example. In the year 2015, the central bank, and the Fed flushed tons of amount of money into the market, and that moved Bitcoin from the 3,000 zone to the 14,000 zone. In the year 2015 also, something like that happened, and that made Bitcoin skyrocket from the 7,000 zone to the 68,000 zone. That was at the all-time high. The Fed also moved from rate hikes to rate cuts to attract more investors. Also, in the year 2021, we had influx of so many investment capitalists, so many investment institutions coming into the crypto space from the flux of, from the influence of NFTs, ETFs, and a lot of hedge funds. These are things that never happened in the crypto space before, and these were most of the major things that contributed to the major spike of the crypto bull run in the year 2021. Now, if you are beginning to put all of these things together, you will see these moves as something that has been happening over the year, and over the year. If you are beginning to place all of these dots together, we see that these things are actually kind of connecting to this year 2025. Now, let's move down to April 2025 and analyze all of these things and see how they get to correlate and sync together. Allow me to walk you down the memory lane, as I'm going to be exposing you to some very fundamental analysis that are actually going to connect these dots of everything I've been talking about since, and you see where all of this begins to make sense. Follow me. So we are going to be considering an article by the LCX, and just going to pick so many points to buttress what have been said so far. So now we are talking about comparing the last bull run to this year's bull run. So we said one of the things is adoption, the crypto adoption, institutional and retail investor influx. So we said the cryptocurrency sector has witnessed huge interest from institutions such as family offices, hedge funds, and traditional money managers. So now let's look at this part and let's just pick it out right there. So now, talking about traditional money managers, hedge funds, and such as family offices, we are talking about our traditional trading system, like our central banks, our normal banks. And if you agree more with me that there has been so many adoption even from financial institutions of the cryptocurrency, which is a major factor, or what led to the spike in the 2021 bull run, and which is also a major factor contributing to the bull run in this year. So we said, accounting for an influx of 17 billion worth of institutional capital into the cryptocurrency sector. This was the year 2021. So now let's also talk about another thing. It said the interest of retail investors in cryptocurrency is aided by institutional management, according to a survey done by Russian Investors by Association of Foreign Exchange Dealers. 77% of 502 investors polled preferred Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin over assets like gold and foreign exchanges. So these were bullish moves, or let's say these were bullish signals in the year 2021. And if you agree more with me, there is none of these things that I was mentioned here that is not actually reflecting in year 2025. So now let's also talk about the ETF approval. ETF approval was one of the major things that led to this the price boom in the year 2021 bull run. And you won't agree less with me that there has been there are still a lot of pending ETF approval. Now, in the year 2021 alone, there were a lot of ETF, and let's just look at the amount of ETF that were actually still pending in the year 2025. So we said, after making a search about that, I said the exact number of ETF approved in the year 2024-25 is not readily available. However, it is worth noting that the global ETF landscape is expanding rapidly in 2023. The ETF offerings globally had risen to 9,149, with assets under management reaching 11 trillion. Emphasis on this. 11 trillion. So now let's also make a research connecting these dots together. Let's ask for the market capitalization of the crypto market so far in the year 2025. So now, according to this prediction by Changely, we have that the crypto market could balloon to 10 trillion by 2026 under the Trump's administration. Now, this prediction was made in November 2024. Now, if the projection is $10 trillion, and just in the year 2023, the amount of funds pushed into the crypto market just from ETF alone was 11 trillion. And we're not talking about doubling our market capitalization by this time. Now let's go back, and we said ETF was one of the major one of the major factor that drove the 2021 bull cycle, and right now we have lots of ETF on that way. This is something that could not be, argued too much. So we also said the experts prediction, according to JP Morgan Chase's last research report, Bitcoin is better inflation hedge asset than gold. This is primary driver for the current rally, as it has sparked a trend of people switching from gold ETF to Bitcoin funds since September. Now, ETFs, trade, and many other things, these are same thing that we are also experiencing in the year 2025. Now let's also go further to another research, and let's say an article published by Binance comparing the last bull run to this year's bull run. So we are going to pick it from here: similarities between the last and coming bull run. This is the year 2025. So institutional involvement in both the last and anticipated bull run. Institutional involvement has been a significant driving force. Institutional investors have increasingly shown interest in cryptocurrencies as an investment asset, as this trend is likely to continue in the forthcoming bull run, and actually it is continuing. So you won't argue less with me, or argue more with me rather, that there has been so much institutional involvement in this year's bull run. Talking about MicroStrategy, talking about major purchases by companies like Microsoft and many other companies, even countries coming out to adopt cryptocurrency as a means of transaction. Talking of the US, El Salvador, and many other countries. So these are major factors that led to the price boom or spike in the year 2021, and these factors are also playing the cards in this year 2025. So now let's just talk about market speculation and FOMO. So we said the fear of missing out was a prevalent factor in the last bull run, driving prices to staggering heights. FOMO is a psychological phenomenon where investors rush to buy assets to avoid missing out. Now, flashback to January 2025. There was massive FOMO in the crypto market. A lot of people were buying because nobody wanted to miss out. And we saw what happened. Bitcoin moved and broke out to 108,000, a new all-time high. And that is also what is happening. I will tell you that latest by May, would actually be having close to another all-time high. But we are going to discuss that, and the reason why I'm saying that by the time we get to the technical part. So also, now let's go further in this article, because I'm actually enjoying this article. Now, last thing we are going to be talking about is the global economic condition. Economic condition and monetary policies has always influenced the crypto market. Economic instability and concerns about traditional fiat currencies losing value could prepare individuals to seek refuge in cryptocurrencies. If economic conditions remain uncertain and worsen, the coming bull run may see similar influx of capital into the crypto market. Now, let's talk about global economic conditions very well. In the year 2021, there were a lot of trade wars, a lot of sanctions. Wasn't that when Trump, was leaving the seat? Or in the year 2021, there were so many trade sanctions and so many trade wars. And the year 2025, same thing is happening. Now, one major example I'm going to cite is the US-China trade war, and I'm going to expose you to why this is a very greater advantage for crypto enthusiasts. Now, China is actually in a trade war with the US, and this is actually affecting their economy. Much as many people don't want to accept, the China economy is strong, but not very strong enough to sustain what they are doing. So China has actually been selling off their Bitcoin to buy more gold to stand a chance against the US, which is not a move I'm actually very in support of, because to me it doesn't actually make much sense. Prior to this time, China has been buying a lot of Bitcoin, and everybody knows what happened when the Asians get into the market. That is mass influx. Regardless, on the other hand, due to the trade war between China and US, there's also been decline in the US economy. The US dollar is weakening. If you check the dollar index from April 2025 to this very date, the 25th of April 2025, you will see that there's been a massive decline in the dollar strength, and that is something to note, that whenever the economy is weakening, the Fed will be left with no choice than to cut down their rate. And when there is more rate cut, what happens? There will be more influx of institutional traders, more influx of investors into the market. And when there's more influx of investors into the market, that means there's more money to go around the economy. And when there's more money to go around into little hands like you and I, working people, that means the M2 is actually going to do what? To go up and be spiking up. And when M2 is spiking up, that means what? the crypto market is definitely expecting a boom. If you look at the chart of M2, there's just this analysis that whenever the M2 is going up, the crypto market is also going up. We are going to explain that so well when we get to the technical part of this video. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to tell you that the global economic situation in the year 2021 favored the crypto market, even the other way people thought about it, and the same cards are playing in the year 2025. It is left for you to take these opportunities and as well connect the dots. So let's read further in this article. So we said, anticipating the coming bull run, they talked about regulatory clarity. One significant difference between the last bull and the current one could be regulatory environment, and everybody will agree with me that so far in this bull run, or in this year or since last year, there has been so much mass adoption of cryptocurrency in the regulatory system than ever before, even with the world's strongest economies president coming out to adopt crypto and even having a meme coin everything. That's way bullish signal for the crypto space. So regulation, that's not something to worry about. So now, talking about market maturity, the crypto market has matured since the last bull run. More robust projects, improved infrastructure, and more educated investors based could impact how the upcoming bull run unfolds. And talking about market maturity, we are having a lot of newer technologies in the crypto space. Talking about technologies like or infrastructural developments like the DEPIN, the reward assets. These are many means to attract investors into the crypto space, connecting cryptocurrency to solve real life problem. Let's just leave that there. So another thing is technological advancements, which I'm going to put under reward assets, the pins, decentralized finances, and so many things. So I'm talking about broader understanding, and this is where I'm just going to drive the curtain concerning what to expect in the last bull run and what to expect in this bull run, and connecting both dots for prediction of the bull run in this year. So now let's talk about the technicals. I'm talking about technicals. I'm just going to make mention of just one technical analysis, and that is the M2 time graph.